Team 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, we're Team 4. My name is Jennifer Salceda, and we're going to be doing the Horizon report from 2016 K through 12 edition. I'm going to start off with the solvable challenges.
And I'm going to be doing the difficult challenges, and I'll be covering advanced digital equity and scaling teaching innovations.
And I'm Tanya Stevens. I'll be doing WICKET challenges, focusing on the achievement gap and the personalizing learning.
Okay, so I'm going to get started with authentic learning experiences. So when I was reading the report, it really talked a lot about hands-on, providing those experiences in classrooms, but also to make it very real world. And so just to connect projects and things like that they're working on to the real world. And the first thing I thought about was our Connect program that we have here, which we do a lot of projects. It's very project-based, very self-directed learning style. And that's one thing that we do try to offer is the hands-on piece, as well as making it very real world. Another thing I thought about, like our school district has CTHS, which is a career technical high school, and they have the technology embedded there, and then also just, you know, careers in general. So it's preparing them for college. Another part, it talked about like partnering up with businesses, and something that I thought of was our, we have a Starbase program, which is a really neat one. It's called Starbase 2.0, and they come in and they teach the kids all about forensics. And so like it's like crime scene investigation style. So it's different from what the normal curriculum is, I guess, but very engaging. So it kind of piques the kids' interest. So that's what my part was focusing on. The next part was rethinking the roles of teachers. And one of the things that I kind of highlighted for myself was the whole professional development, and how I thought it was very interesting. It talked about how education has changed from more of a directive approach as a teacher. You know, before we would be very directive and kind of telling the kids this is what you're doing, and now it's moving with the technology implementation. It's moving towards more like consulting with kids. You're mentoring them, you're, you know, guiding them in their learning and trying to instill that ownership of their learning. Even at our age level, 5th and 6th graders, that's something that we really are trying to push. And so I think just as administrators, trying to look for some of that professional development that is involving that type of style. I think we have a ways to go with that, because I know we still are doing some of the old styles of professional development.
Interesting.
Yeah, so my section covered against advanced digital equity and scaling teaching innovations. And again, these are difficult challenges that we understand, but solutions are elusive, right? So digital equity refers to uneven access to high-speed broadband across the nation. And this directly impacts education, because if our students are to become digital citizens, they need to have access to high-speed internet in order to prevent achievement gaps. And it's interesting that you were talking about that, about CTHS school, Jennifer, where, like, you know, they all have the, you know, the newest stuff, you know, the high-tech stuff. And, you know, sometimes they compare, you know, their grades or their test scores to us, where we're like a low-income school. And for me, that digital equity is unfair, right? So in the report, it states that 5 million households in the U.S. with school-age children don't have access to high-speed internet. And I know from my experience working in a Title I school, working with economically disadvantaged families, the lack of high-speed internet or any internet at all creates an inconsistency in the way our students are learning. So connecting this to the ISTE standards for both teachers and administrators, I think we need to be aware of these digital equity and social issues to ensure that all of our students are being provided with the same resources and opportunities. In regards to scaling teaching innovations, it talks about how schools are not adept to mainstreaming innovations created by teachers in the classroom. So in other words, only the innovations created by central office are the ones that they're mostly mainstreaming in the classroom. So as far as this, I think this becomes an issue, because with educators, we should be allowed to be innovative and promote digital citizenship to become role models for our students, right? Because ultimately that's what we want our students to be, right? We want them to be innovative and digital citizens. So that's what, my section's covered.
Interesting. It's my last time to go last and have this Wicket challenge, so I was kind of nervous about it, but y'all made so many good points that it's going to be easy for me to talk about now. Mine was about the achievement gap and the personalized learning. And with the achievement gap, the 3 things that stood out the most to me that's going to hinder our improvement is student-teacher ratio, funding for resources, and then setting expectations. So like you said, Daniel, about the funding for resources, that's something I think that's always going to be one of our troublesome areas, because with technology growing at such a high rate and speed, that it's getting more and more expensive. And so to be able to fund that and keep up with the times is struggling for our school systems. So once again, we're going to be having to seek some outside sources. And in the article I read about did state several different places that are doing that. So that was reassuring that they are getting others involved. As for student-teacher ratio, we all know our classrooms are maxed out. I know they are at our school with students and teachers, and that's going to be a challenge for us and those students to be addressed with their issues. And then expectations. One statement it said in the article I really liked said, high expectations for all students can minimize disparities among student groups. So instead of just setting high expectations for your GT, you need to set them for every group that you have. I do that a lot in PE. I don't accept people saying I can't do that, I can't do that. So I always push them to their limits, and you get better achievements from that. The other thing that I read about was personalized learning. I don't know about y'all, but this scares me every time I see the word student-centered environment, because our students these days seem very not motivated and don't have that initiative to step up and do what they should do to help themselves learn and get educated. And Jennifer, you stated some stuff about that earlier, about how making it connected to real world will entice them, hopefully, to want to keep learning and learn more about it. So as I was reading through this section in the Horizon report we read, I did find a couple of areas that are doing that, so that made me a little bit more at ease. But I did decide to seek other resources. So I pulled the extra readings from personalized versus differentiated versus individualized. That made me feel a whole lot better, because basically it states that personalized learning is being misused, the term. And so the Kate statement here says, at least in our understanding of the term, it refers to the whole enchilada, not just what we are reading as student learning only, or I should say student-centered only. That learning that is tailored to the preferences and interests of various learners, as well as instruction that is placed to a student's unique needs. Academic goals, curriculum, and content, as well as method and pace, can all conceivably vary in personalized learning environment. So that made me feel even better, that it is not just putting it all in their hands. It's taking it all together and building something out of it. The last thing I want to make note of is it states, it's up to savvy teachers to connect the appropriate tools with the right students. And in the case of personalized learning, allowing students to make suggestions and control their own academic experiences. So I am not a savvy teacher yet, I guess. And I am going to continue working on that, because the digital age is making a lot of these Wicket challenges a little bit easier to address and take care of.
I was going to say, you're welcome to come to my school anytime if you want to come see the Connect program. It really is neat to hear fifth graders talking about their goals, and just because it's very, very personalized, like it is tailored to them, and they can move at their own pace. But it's so interesting hearing them speak the language. I mean, they really do. It's like a transformation from the beginning of fifth grade to the end. And now those fifth graders that were, fifth graders last year are sixth graders this year, and it's amazing to see them as well. So anytime you want to come over, Tanya.
Oh, I would so love that. That's good. That's good.
Okay, well, so do you have anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching our video, and again, feel free to leave some comments on the bottom. Right,
awesome. Have a great day.